do you struggle with presenting the right image when you're on Zoom, or when you're actually presenting in front of people? Well, today I thought it'd be a good idea to get someone in to actually talk about some ideas on how you can improve your presentation, particularly now that we're all online using Zoom. Catherine Bonner is the founder and MD of Ambient Tribe, an engagement and communication consultancy that helps entrepreneurial businesses master how they connect, engage, and inspire the people that matter in their growth. Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Hiya. You help companies articulate their mission and vision and values. What differences do you see in companies that embed these across their work and their whole business?
It's really interesting. I think every business has a set of values, whether they've got them written down or not. And I think often businesses, they're like, oh, we've got our values, they're stuck on the walls. And it's like, well, okay, but how are they actually being lived in their business? And I think certainly for me during, this lockdown period, the companies that have, their values embedded into every area of what they do in their business. So from how they recruit to how they manage their team to how they manage remote working, those businesses are being really decisive. They can see opportunities. They don't feel kind of lost in this crazy storm. They've actually got an anchor that's really keeping them nice and secure, and they can therefore pivot or change or whatever they need to do but within an authentic and real way. And I just think it's quite exciting to see how those businesses are really flourishing at quite a challenging time.
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced businesses who are struggling in that sort of area, and they're all not in the same room, they're not in the same building, and they can't work together in the same way. And I suppose maybe they need those visions and values to actually help their businesses more.
Well, yeah, and I think, there are some values that we all want. We all want integrity in our business, but what does integrity look like, particularly in your business? Because it'll look slightly different to somebody else. And those, your mission and your vision and your values are what makes your business really unique. And if you can find ways of articulating them and bringing them to life for your people and your clients and your prospects, then actually that's a really brilliant way of really talking about yourself and making yourself stand out in the industry.
Right, great. So what are the most common mistakes that businesses make when they're trying to communicate with their team?
Well, communication at the moment is obviously challenging. We're all locked in our own homes. But I think for me, particularly entrepreneurial businesses, the biggest mistake I see people make is they forget to do it. And I know that sounds really obvious, but particularly if you've been a business of maybe 5 to 7 people for a long time, you're all sat around the table together and communication kind of happens by osmosis. And then you grow and which is a great thing. And you've got new people coming on board and it's really exciting. And what I see a lot of leaders do is they just forget to communicate proactively. They assume that people will just know things because that's what's happened in the past. But actually, when you're in that scaling phase, you as a leader have to change how you talk to your people. You have to be more proactive. You have to actually improve your communication skills and your ability to flex those. So when you're working with lots of different people, and I think that's number one. It's really simple. They just forget to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that. I mean, I know that when we deal with customers, we communicate, don't we? We tell them where we are with the work that we're doing for them, what stages of the projects they're at and all that sort of, because it's really important. It's important that communication is kept there. And I can understand that if people aren't in the same room, again, it's the same issue, isn't it? How do you make that communication and how do you keep that communication going?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is a journey. And I think, lots of entrepreneurs, you'll be looking to the future. You'll be looking forward to what's going to happen next. Whereas your team are probably still trying to balance how to stop the child jumping on their head or the dog coming into their Zoom calls. We've all got different pressures on ourselves at the moment. And it's as a leader, it's really important to acknowledge and understand what those might be for your team.
Yeah, great. I mean, that's brilliant. So you work with leaders and you help them master their presentation skills. Do you have any tips that you could give us that would help us improve the way we communicate, and particularly in Zoom calls?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first one's going to seem a little bit left field, so bear with me. But the first one is all just about breathing. So if you think about walking into a room full of people, when eventually we can do that again, the people who really stand out as having real confidence and impact, believe it or not, are the people who have really mastered their breath. So when you're anxious or nervous, your breath automatically jumps up right up here. And we get, you know, that kind of shoulders up feeling and that kind of tense feeling around our voice and around our chest. And that shows a million miles, you know, away, particularly on Zoom calls.
Right.
So actually, if you can master how you're breathing and get your breath right down into your stomach, have a really grounded, deep breath, then actually you suddenly start to have more gravitas. You can feel more comfortable pausing as you speak. You can actually connect with the people you're speaking to, opposed to feeling like you're up here all the time.
Right.
So yeah,
you're making me check my shoulders now. So
good.
yeah.
You know, it's a really stressful time, and it's easy
Yeah.
to let it all kind of come up here. The next thing to think about is your setup. So, you know, even though we've been doing this kind of Zoom life for the last 10 weeks, I'm still seeing an awful lot of people in shadow, in darkness, you know, badly lit, you know, or even, you know, if they're sitting maybe in front of a window and you can't actually see the person at all. Remember, when you're presenting online, that the aim is to make a connection between you and the person opposite you, and to kind of close that gap between you and them. And if you can't see your face, you can't make that connection. So think about, you know, the lighting you've got on. I'm actually sat in a new area for me today, and I'm not sure my lighting's quite right, so I'm going to go away and work on that. But, you know, make sure that you've got lots of light coming into your face, that you can make eye contact, that you're not sitting and checking out your hair the whole time, because it's really, really boring. You know, really make it about how you can connect best with that person opposite you. And then my third tip was just about thinking about your body language, particularly when you're not speaking. You know, if you're in the privacy of your own home and you're feeling really comfortable, it can be very easy to kind of get a bit cross-armed, a bit slouchy, a bit, you know, hiding your body away. And actually, how is that being interpreted by the person you're speaking to? Because it looks like you don't care and you're not interested. So really think about your kind of resting face. You know, are you showing signals that you're getting what that person's saying? Are you showing signals of interest? Because that will really help you connect with the people that you're talking to online.
Brilliant. No, they're fantastic tips. And, you know, while you've been going through those, I've been thinking about how I'm doing. And I know I'm not using my hands enough, because we've talked about that in the past. But I'll try to do that in future. No, that's great. Thanks very much for that, Catherine. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope that you found that useful, and I'm sure Catherine's got lots of other tips that she can give you. If you'd like to get in touch with Catherine, you can see her website, which is ambienttribe.com. Your email is catherine.bonner at ambienttribe.com. If you'd like to know more about that, then certainly get in touch with her. She'll certainly have a great chat with you.
Connect with me on LinkedIn as well, please.
Absolutely, LinkedIn. Yeah, so we'll put that in the blog as well, because this video goes into a blog which is on my website, which is SJR Solutions. So you can view it there, and also read the hints and tips that are on there as well. If you have any questions about marketing, feel free to get in touch. You know where I am, and you can email me at simon.reed@sjrsolutions.co.uk, and also my website's there as well. So it's been great doing that. Thanks very much, Catherine. Thanks for your time. And until next time, I'll see you again. Bye.
Great. Thanks. Bye-bye.